órale, compadres. Hoy vamos a ver la película que se llama 2.0 con Rajinikanth y Akshay Kumar. Somos Daniel y Gian. Y así voy a hablar como la gente de que son los, Carlos, ¿cómo se dice ancestors en español? Él no sabe tampoco. Los ancestros de Daniel. Hablaban así antes que se olvidaron el español y están hablando inglés ahora.
Is March a Hispanic History Month or something? Because I wonder what these people are going to be saying. This is like
Pues órale, ni modo, güey. No mames. Siempre mamón, como siempre. Pinche estúpido.
Making this
pinche
hard,
cabrón.
all this extra work I got to do with all these subtitles.
Sí. Lo único, pero vamos a reaccionar al video. Vamos a darle.
That's my people.
I hope you guys can tell the difference between the accents.
Boludo, pelotudo.
Oh, I thought this ad was a part of the video. It's just an ad.
So if we had 3D capabilities, we could...
We better. Otherwise, that's terrible marketing.
Advertising?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a sequel to The Robot.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
This film was shot in 3D, not for the sake of 3D. The script demanded the
It's all
3D
English.
technology for this movie.
3D gets you
Shooting
right
on the
in
red.
middle of the action. And because we have not seen it so much in India, it's almost magical. Everything looks much bigger.
Shankar wrote this script keeping 3D in mind. That is the most important thing.
I want to talk about 3D after, so remind me.
Working in 3D is a lot harder than I imagined from the setup to the extent of how perfect things really
They're talking about it as if 3D is
When you're shooting for 2D, you're
not
shooting
common
a
in
flat
India.
image.
That's what he said.
But when you
No,
shoot
I
in
know,
3D, you're
but
shooting in space.
that's what I want to talk about after.
A lot of Hollywood films, they shot in 2D and then they converted into 3D in the post-production.
The depth that you can create in shooting native 3D is brilliant.
But this film was
It's kinda
shot
got a
with
point.
the latest 3D camera directly.
It was our intention to invite the audience into the movie by presenting them a true sense of presence in the earliest scenes.
I used to go back after every shot and sit in the director's chair with a pair of high-tech 3D glasses to check your shot.
And I'm
Oh, it's not
seeing the
makeup.
shot on the monitor. I feel
I like it's practical.
I'm there where the story is happening.
If you take a picture in a forest, every leaf on every tree, every blade of grass has an individual depth. As the movie goes on and the drama becomes more dynamic, at that point we increased the 3D to bring most of the action between the screen and the audience so that it plays right inside the theater.
There are a lot of visual effects scenes and a lot of action scenes are there in this film. And you can enjoy those visual effect scenes and action scenes in 3D. Audience also is going to get excited to see their star very close to their face.
The first 3D shot I saw on a small screen. I was watching it, I don't know how many times I watched. I will appreciate Shankar because it was mesmerizing.
More than a movie, it's an experience. That experience can be fully tapped by 3D technology only.
Sounds
As
like
for
James
3D,
Cameron.
In India, it is such a rare experience that the excitement is tenfold.
I am waiting to see audience reaction. And I assure you, it is not less than any big Hollywood 3D movie.
I hope this film will encourage a lot of producers to come up with 3D films, and a lot of theaters will be converted into 3D theaters. I hope it will happen after this movie.
Oh, this was made October 7th, the video. I was just curious. That's why I was going to ask right after. So
the first thing that I noticed was the guy kept saying film, and it reminded me of my tour guide in Belfast, my Game of Thrones tour guide. That's what she said. She said,
film?
She said, yeah, she said, over here, laddie. They did the film of the TV show for that scene. And I made her into a Scottish pirate. A terrible one.
Oh, instead of film?
I gotta work on my Irish accent, man. My Irish accent is awful.
Instead of film?
She said film.
Film?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah. What was interesting about this video is, obviously, this is just marketing, so all of these marketing videos are kind of edited in the same way, right?
Yeah.
And they're kind
Like
of
a
shot
mini documentary.
right?
Yeah.
But the words that they were saying were very, very reminiscent of the words a lot of directors were saying about 5 or 6 years ago here in the States about 3D and how it's going to be this life-changing thing, and probably even before that, you know, because My Bloody Valentine is really what brought back 3D here in the States, because it was a super low-budget film with 3D, marketed as a 3D only thing. It was a horror film.
Right.
Halloween season, so you're gonna take your girl out or whatever and go on a date and go watch them, and it made a decent penny. And then they just started doing this, and then Cameron started, you know, so Cameron's always been innovating it.
And I think Avatar was really the, you know, what was people, he capitalized on it, and it peaked there.
And it plateaued.
And they actually mentioned this in this vignette, because they talk about how a lot of people do put 3D afterwards when effects.
I never watched post-converted 3D films, with the exception of, like, for example, I'm not sure if the new Pacific Rim was shot in 3D, but if it was not, excuse me, I'll still go to IMAX to watch it because I want that experience.
But I mean, I don't know a list. You'll probably know better than that. But I feel like most movies are not shot with the 3D camera.
No.
So I'm wondering if that's a cost. It's obviously got to be a cost thing if they're not shooting it in the 3D camera.
The thing is, they're not even shooting with the 3D camera.
No?
No.
So they lied to
Red
us?
doesn't make a 3D camera.
Ah.
So the way you shoot 3D, and this is where it gets really technical, is all it is literally two cameras in a way where they're almost mounted almost on top of each other, but they're not. So that's why you actually see a mirror. There's actually a mirror, because that's the only way sometimes you can actually get the sensors that close to one another with those huge bodies. So that's why the units are so huge. And that's because that's what causes the blur effect, the censoring over one another. I mean, the images, the overlay.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes more, and there's more to it than just that. But yeah, those are two Reds being shot that way. But the one thing that I liked the director saying was the depth that it adds, because the 3D films that I love, Avatar being one of them, Great Gatsby, Life of Pi, Hugo, Avatar. Those are my 4 favorite 3D movies. They were all shot using 3D, and you can genuinely tell. And that's why I enjoyed when the director talked about the depth, because you can tell when you frame for 3D, and that's the whole goal. Not just some cheap thrill, like I'm going to throw an axe at you or something, but actually frame people and utilize that depth. It actually does create, at least for me personally, a more interactive experience, I guess.
I mean, I've only watched Avatar in 3D. Oh, I watched Mad Max, but that was another one they did at post.
That was post for sure. Yeah.
And all I did was, like, at the beginning they threw a hubcap at your face.
You're like,
that was the end of the 3D in that movie, I feel like.
For sure.
So Avatar's the only one I watch. I just feel like
it's a gimmick.
You get there and you're like, do I want to? And I don't know the prices in India, but here it's like an extra $5 to watch it in 3D. And I'm like,
if you want to go to IMAX, it's another $5.
There you go. So you're paying twice the amount of the ticket. And I'm like, do I want to watch this like this?
Only sometimes. Like I said, Pacific Rim, I'll go out.
I mean, I never got to The Hobbit. We forgot about The Hobbit, but they did it differently. They shot in different frame rates.
And I saw that in 48 frames. I liked it. I still do. I still stand by that. But, you know, what's interesting, though, is I'm curious to know how this will impact the Indian film industry, because, to be honest, when the boom happened here in the States, it happened here in the States. Every movie was getting a 3D treatment, to the point where it literally destroyed itself.
Yeah.
And there's hardly any 3D movies being produced anymore, or even post-converted at all, with the exception of genuinely a Disney film.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to say, oh, there's kids who are going to want to see it in 3D, or, you know, an animated film. Animated films, I think, look good in 3D.
I think the biggest issue with 3D is that, you know, people just don't like putting stuff on their face already.
And I already have glasses on.
So you put glasses on top of your glasses. It's just not comfortable. And I know that...
And if they have because I don't know how the theaters are in India, sorry to interrupt you, but if the projectors are shitty, you know, they're using bulbs they're dimming it really low, what's going to be projected out is already going to be even dimmer, so your experience is going to be even worse.
Right.
You know, if you're not going to cinemas that are using the full capacity for 3D projection, you're literally wasting your money, genuinely, because you're not watching it as the director or cinematography shot it and intended it to be watched. And
Yeah,
that's,
there's just so many different variables that go into watching these movies that it's just at some point it's just not worth it. And I think that's what kind of kills a lot of these projects, is because, you know, like even now, like when there's certain movies we want to watch, we kind of try to hunt down specific theaters to watch it at, because, you know, if you go to one of these cheaper theaters, you know,
you're not going to get the experience.
no, they mess something up. You know, like some theaters have bad sound. You know, like
bad sound, or the bulb
projectors
quality,
yeah.
or the screen is bad, or the seats. I mean, the seats obviously would be the lowest on the totem pole, but sometimes
it's part of
it matters.
It's part of the experience. Like, you know, like the way you're watching it, where the screen is located. Like a lot of like.
That's why I brought up the seats, because sometimes the screens are really small and far back.
Right.
So like no matter where you sit.
Or like the dome style seating that was popular in the 80s and 90s. Like you go to that now and you're like, I hate these theaters. It's just like not. It's like this slanted kind of like at a grade, like, you know, but not at a steep grade. It's just
it's
like
a super minuscule, as if they just like
yeah,
the smallest incline ever.
It's just so yeah.
And so you could barely. You have to like.
Cool
to
thing
look
is,
over people.
Cool thing is a lot of theaters are remodeling,
Yeah.
and they're putting in like the reclining seats, which are.
Well,
I'm still on the fence with those too, because like I think you get too comfortable,
and then it kind of
you might fall asleep.
Do you? But my question is, one on this. Do you feel like if this movie does do very well, that it will create this boom in India where other productions do in fact start, and they just become super saturated with? Because I mean,
I think there's a cost.
Bollywood in 3D would be
yeah.
fun.
I think there's a cost thing that's like very important. Like if they're able, we don't know how much this costs to shoot.
Right.
You know, after everything is said and done, how much it's going to cost. That's one. And then, I mean, I guess it helps that, you know, most of these VFX houses are in India already,
yeah.
so they're not paying as much for the Bollywood films. But I think it's just a cost thing, and it depends on how much money this movie makes too, because, you know, people just might not be interested in it.
And I'm curious to know how many projectors are even 3D capable in India. Because right now, most of the ones in America are, because 3D blew up.
Yeah.
The theaters had to install 3D projectors, which are now 4K projectors, which do everything. But that's, we can go on and on about this stuff.
Yeah. So let us know what you guys think. Are you excited about watching this in 3D? Is 3D something you're interested in at all?
I know this video kind of became about 3D,
but I mean,
they're talking about 3D, so I guess it's kind of relevant.
It inspired a conversation about it. So, but anyways, you know the drill, guys. Smash that like button, leave comments, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. We're so close to that 10K mark, but it's just kind of slowed down to a halt the last couple months. So. And go ahead and tell us.
So much hate.
Yeah, let us know why the subscribers rate has slowed down. That's fine. Yeah, check out some of these other reaction videos we have here, and we will see you next time.